The Invincible Iron Man issue number 2. So we're coming back from an interesting first issue. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Coming off of a stellar Iron Man arc that made me like the character. So of course I'm going to have some trepidations, right? Just gotta be the case. So far, I'm not convinced I'm the audience for this book. I don't know who is, if that makes sense. I don't think this book has been like, oh man, we're doing something new and inventive and changing the game. It's more just like, okay, here it is. Was we getting a little too like metatextual in the last one? And it's a little too like in your head, like, man, this character is kind of fucked if you think about it. Is that the problem with the last issue? Do we have to do this where it's just straightforward? Wouldn't be surprised if that happened, but okay. Okay, I guess. So, in the beginning, or in the end of the last issue, I should say, Tony kind of like collapsed because he was poisoned, as we find out later in this book. Riri Williams, Ironheart, is the one to come to his rescue, so she picks him up, and she's like, we should get you to a hospital, but he's like, just put me in my armor, we'll figure out what happened. So he's wearing his armor, and they're trying to talk about stuff. It's fine. He still thinks she shouldn't have the Mandarin rings, which she got in the last run, which makes sense. I get it. Tony's like, I don't deserve them. Why should you have them? She's like, well, I'm better than you. And he's like, probably, but it's probably not a good idea still. I'm okay with that. It's fine. No issues with that whatsoever. Then we get a page where we see like some mysterious figure watching everything with Tony on a screen, kind of seeing like, okay, his stocks are crashing in his company. The dude's not going to have any money. The public hates Iron Man. Okay, cool. I don't know. The mysterious villain thing, is it interesting still? I feel like we need to stop doing that in like every arc when a creator takes on a new book. Not just Iron Man, but with every comic book where a new creator's like, I gotta do something special. It's like, I don't care. I don't know. Whatever. So as that's happening, somebody is giving a press conference for Stark Unlimited. Boom, the living laser shows up and demands to see Tony. Cool. I like the living laser. He wasn't really featured in the Cantwell run, so that's kind of cool. Tony and Riri see it. They suit up. They're going to go fight him. Then he goes to the old Avengers mansion and like destroys the face of like the bronze Avengers statue of Tony on it. So he destroys that. They have a little bit of a spat. Again, I guess because like in the last run, we're like, Tony is certain he can save the world, and then when he does, he realizes he didn't save it. So in this book, it's just Tony has no money, and now he has to fight the living laser, and it's a misunderstanding because he thinks Tony did something to him. I'm just kind of like, okie dokie, let's see what you got for me. It is executed well. I have no complaints with the artwork. Looks fine. Looks pretty interesting. So, the living laser gets the upper hand on Tony. Looks like he's going to defeat him. In comes Riri for the save because she's better than Tony in every way. I'm joking about that, but I think every kind of issue of the last couple Iron Man runs have been indicating that she is better than Tony. Which maybe. She's like, why don't we take the gloves off? Trying to beat up Living Laser. Guess what? She's wearing the Mandarin rings, baby. And he's like, what? And she uses them to enter into the mind of Arthur Parks, the Living Laser. When he's just off doing his own thing, somebody impersonating Tony Stark shows up and tases him, and then they do experiments on him to make him exactly what happened, almost as if that's the same thing that happened to Tony, where someone's trying to destroy his reputation. Cool. Isn't that every arc we've been seeing so far? I feel like that's a very common thread in a lot of books right now, in just everything. Like, it happened in the last Iron Man story. Captain America for the past couple of years has just been that. That's a Spider-Man idea right there. And I'm not against it. I'm just like, okay, that's kind of cool. So Tony thinks, what? Is it a life model decoy? A demon? What was it? Living Laser's just like, okay, that's stupid. So he just leaves. And Tony's like, I don't got time for this. But if you ever find out who did this, I want in. So Living Laser, he's gonna come back for a team up, probably in another issue. Okay. Riri solved the day. We now know somebody is framing Tony to do all this stuff, and I'm like, that's great. That's great. Okie dokie. Again, I don't know. Is it interesting? Are you having fun? Is this book selling you yet? Riri reconstructs the melted Iron Man statue. And she's like, okay, I think that's good for a day. Let's call it a day. Tony realizes it was his AA meeting where somebody probably spiked his drink. I'm like, yep, okay, that works. Cool. It's fun. We're all getting it now. Tony's like, I'd like to see who my next dead nemesis is. And then in narration, he's talking about the current CEO of Stark Unlimited, Zing Wei, and he's just like a renowned genius. Renowned genius. Who's dead. Blasted through the chest with what's probably repulsor tech, and you see a picture behind his dead body of him with a young Tony Stark, and you're like, okay, evil Tony Stark killing? Evil Tony Stark killing? I'm like, okay, is this interesting? Duggan's doing some X-Men stuff right now, right? So it'd be pretty interesting if this connected into like the X-Men stuff with like, you know, people being reborn and like the weird egg things, but I don't know. I wasn't that sold on this book. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. We're going to fight Living Laser. It's a misunderstanding. We're just setting up an ultimate evil, which is fine. It's just like this didn't do anything for me. I didn't feel any emotion reading this. I wasn't particularly impressed with like the stylings of Tony or Riri. It was just cool, I guess, to see Living Laser and like, okay, Riri is good at using the rings. That's kind of fun. But other than that, I cannot sit here and tell you this book like shaped my being or told me what it needed to do to satisfy. It was just a standard Iron Man book that got itself where it needed to be. To another chapter next month of the Invincible Iron Man. So that, I guess, is something to look forward to. Evil Iron Man, what a concept. Who would have thought that's possible, right? There's never in the history of comic books been an evil Iron Man. So the Invincible Iron Man issue number 2, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Hive. I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.